Welcome to this edition of Bedroom Forensics. This episode is all about the Cecil Hotel and Elisa Lam, and that's because I watched the Neflix docuseries last night and I had a few things that I wanted to discuss about it. Firstly, that it's ridiculously long, way too long. It could have been done with an hour, but I get that's why they get all the big dollar, because they keep these things and people interested. But when I was watching it, there was a few things that really struck me, and I remember this story when it happened, and it's a story of missing Canadian Elisa Lam, who stayed at the Cecil Hotel and then was found in the water tank on top of the hotel, naked and decomposing. It did get a lot of press at the time when she went missing before she was found because of her erratic behaviour in a lift. And it got the whole world interested in what happened to her. And of course, the internet came out, and with most internet investigations, they only have one side of the story. And then they came up with a whole bunch of conspiracies proven by their own evidence. And what struck me with all of these theories was that their absolute lack of accountability, that they made one man's life hell. Now, if you didn't watch it, or haven't yet, well, probably, spoiler! But before the autopsy and inquest into Elisa Lam's death, a lot of the internet jumped on one guy who happened to sing death metal, who had stayed in the same hotel. They all decided to take apart this man's lyrics and concluded that his songs were bragging that he had got away with dumping Lam into that water tank on top of that hotel. This guy, morbid, whose real name is Pablo, stayed in the hotel a whole year before Lam, and in fact was in Mexico at the time of her disappearance. But did that matter? Nope. He said in the documentary that he had already tried to take his own life and he'd given up his music because of the strangers on the internet that called him a killer and a murderer and threatened him. He tells his story, and it's actually quite sad because no one cares. He has forgotten part of the story, but his life was ruined. And this non-accountability from keyboard warriors isn't a one-off. And if Morbid had succeeded in taking his own life, would these people feel sorry, feel guilty? You know, I really doubt they even remember his name. And if he had died, then the conspiracy theories would continue and surround his legacy. And there is something about conspiracy theories that everybody loves, that nothing is explainable, that there must be something deeper. And of course, there is sometimes, like Deep Throat and Watergate, for example. Then there are others which, although have been explained, will never be settled, like Princess Diana's death. She didn't wear a seatbelt. So why do we hook ourselves into conspiracies, and why is it so hard to let them go? Now, psychologically, there are three main motives: the epistemic, existential, and social. So epistemic motives, it refers to our need for knowledge and certainty. We want to know why and what, and we want an explanation and the truth. However, if your truth isn't quite the same as the information given, you're likely to be drawn to conspiracy theories and fake news, so you can find that information that you feel you need. Now, existential motives is our need to feel safe and secure, and that we have some control over our own world. So if something big happens and it's outside of our control and we feel powerless. But gathering theories and conspiracies gives us back that slight control. And there has been a lot of research at Marie Cecil, sorry if I said your name wrong there. She has shown that people who feel disillusioned tend to gravitate towards conspiracy theories to make themselves feel safe and secure. And finally, social motives. To be better better than others, to have more information, to be the gossip king or queen, or whatever it takes to give you that feel-good sensation, the likes, the thumbs up. And relating this particular social motive to this show, a lot of those web sleuths wanted to be the one to find the truth, to find Elisa Lam. They were driven by their own social motives. And you can see that in a lot of online chat these days. And the way that conspiracy theorists get others to also believe in them and help them feel special is to tell them that they are different. You're different. Only a sheep would go along with mainstream views. You want the truth? Do you want it? Come like this. Come watch this. Come believe in this. Or in Morbid's case, hate this. And it gives you a sense of belonging and to join a group like that. And then you have this righteous sense of belief. And it doesn't really matter what the real truth is. You 100% believe that your truth and the group's truth is the same as others. There are other psychological factors outside of these three motives, and they include class structures and community influence, but I'm not going to get into that nitty gritty. But you can quite clearly see that misinformation is growing within our society. Fake news is everywhere. You just have to have a look at some of the conspiracy theories behind COVID to see that they are growing, and they're not just on the internet, they're out on the streets too. But what it is ultimately we want to feel part of something. And for some people, that means finding these theories. And there is no cure. And although there is AI being developed to cut out this misinformation, the worrying trend is that they'll cut out opinions that they don't agree with. It really is a double-edged sword. So the only thing you can do is to make up your own mind about, well, everything, and actually take responsibility. Be accountable. For Morbid, or Pablo, he's now a father and has come to terms with his fate. But for thousands of others who have committed suicide or have become depressed because of other people's actions, enough is enough. Don't go accusing people or threatening people or making people's lives hell, because no one deserves that. See you next time.